Hey guys, Asa right here, and I am just gonna go at it. I was deciding to make a how to improve your aim video that's gonna be like a 30-minute series or a 30-minute long episode, but I decided to do something more different, something more bite-sized for you guys. So with that in mind, I'm gonna try to tackle different aspects of how to improve your aim. And what makes me a not really certified, but what gives me the right to do that is I'm also just trying to improve my aim, and I'm trying to figure out what things do the pros do, to the really good players do in order to improve that aim. Usually when they just tell you on how to improve your aim, they'll just say click heads and find your sensitivity. But what the hell does that even mean? Right? It doesn't make any sense. I mean, yeah, you could find your sensitivity, but you need to go a little bit more in depth. And hopefully I have some of the stuff that you're looking for if you're also trying to get better, especially in FPS games. Well, actually, just FPS games, because yeah, this is for FPS. Whether it's CS:GO or Valorant, doesn't matter. The principles are the same. So the first thing that we're gonna be looking for is finding your mouse. And I know that some people will be a little bit skeptical here. Some people might agree with me, but at least for my experience, having a mouse that you're comfortable with is gonna be is the starting point. Because if you're not comfortable with the equipment that you use, you'll have a hard time, at least getting that confidence with your comfort. And that just means that when you're comfortable with your equipment, you're able to just do all these crazy movements on the mouse, which allows you to also transfer that in game. And that actually is the reason also that allows me to do what I've been doing when I do the aim lab clip that you saw on my Facebook. So if you haven't seen that yet, I'll put it up maybe on the description on this video. In any case, aside from that is a mouse pad that works with you. Now, again, not all setups will be the same. This mouse pad is medium to large size. That allows me to be able to move it all around, and this just gives me that good amount of freedom, right? When I move around the mouse, some people might just go for the super tiny mouse pads around here, and then just move with their wrists, and that is good and all. But having a good mouse and a mouse pad will definitely help you. Now, you might be asking what could be a good mouse or mouse pad for me. That will all acquaint to how you actually aim. Whether you're somebody who is a arm guy, such as me, I use my arm as well as my wrist to move the mouse. Wrist for more precise movements like this. And then if I need a quick flick, use my arm, flick, flick, flick. And then that means that I'm a hybrid or an arm guy for my aim, which means I need a bigger real estate of my mouse pad. If you're more of just a wrist guy, and props to you, because that is very difficult, where you move everything on your mouse. For example, Hiko does this. He actually just does this one movement, and that's a 180 flick, which is insane. I would love to do that, because that means that it just your movements are so controlled by just your wrist, or your fingertips and your wrist, that it's very, very precise. But it's also difficult because that is a high sensitivity type of aim. So just figure out whether you're a guy who uses only your wrist to aim, or do you use your entire arm. And again, it will differ from person to person. It can either be preference, or it could also be because your gaming space isn't as big. But whatever happens, if you're gonna be playing on that one, I suggest you get used to it and figure it out. And you can maybe buy some mice and mouse pads that are good for you. Now, I won't tell you guys which ones will I ever recommend for a mouse and mouse pad. That is, again, very preferential. For the moment, I am using a Logitech G Pro, or before I was using my Logitech G304. These are just really good mice to use. They're symmetrical in their design, and it just allows me to grip the mouse really comfortably, and just allows me to do all of my movements. So that's the one aspect of this video. The next one is finding your fighting stats. And what by that, how some people when they play, okay, look at the screen right here, right? There's some people who just play laid back, put their put their knees up and just put their hands like that, right, on the mouse pad, which is good and all. And if somebody can actually do that and play well, that is awesome. But for people, for a person like me who likes to play it as much control as I can on my keyboard and mouse, what I do is, actually, wait, I haven't explained the fighting stance. Anyways, the fighting stance is kind of like your ready stance. You know, when you're gonna be boxing, when you're gonna be doing any kind of sport, you have like this initial stance that you do before you go from ready, set, and then go to boom, right? And that's kind of the same thing with gaming, where there's people who actually have their fighting stances. Where if you see some CSGO pros, they actually have a fighting stance where they're a little bit more forward on the screen, a little bit more back on the screen, or just in the center. And why they do this is because they want to be able to. This is kind of like their angle. This just tells you that once you're in that fighting stance, it's go time, it's game time. And what this also does, it kind of incorporates into your head that when I'm here, I'm playing like this. And overall, it just kind of also helps you not mess up your aim, because fighting stance means that you're anchored to your position and you don't have to kind of always adjust yourself to adjust your body physically anymore when you're playing games. Because sometimes people will adjust a lot because they don't have their fighting stance, and they're just going to be moving around, and they're going to be like, why is my aim not working, even though I have all of the stuff that I said about the hands, the arms, the mouse, and the mouse pad. You also need to have like a fighting stance for you guys to at least anchor yourself in front of your PC. So mine is just a straight body. As long as I have this 90-degree angle, you maybe can't see it, but it's right here, this 90-degree angle on my arm, and I can move like that on my mouse pad, like here, my anchor is good already. And before, I could actually put my back onto the front here of my chair, but because this is a different chair, it's slightly higher, I had to adjust a little bit, but this still works fine for me. I could still aim. As long as I could do that, I'm good. And then I don't know if you can see it, but my keyboard is on a kind of certain slight angle here, because that just allows me to free up more space or free up more movement for my right arm. So that is kind of like your fighting stance. Fighting stance is basically your ready stance. It just tells to your brain and helps you, steady yourself, which also helps you steady your aim. So why am I telling you all of this? What good is it if you can do your mouse pad, your fighting stance? So everything here is because you want to have the better aim. You want to find your sensitivity. And I find it best to find my sensitivity when all of these previous markers have been checked. And okay, I'm gonna just pop into Valorant here real quick and show you guys what I mean. And because here's the thing, you're gonna be changing your sensitivity a lot to find the one that is most comfortable to you, right? But when you're changing your stance so many times, when you're changing the way you aim so many times, you'll never have that constant. And because you don't have that constant, you don't know how to improve your aim, because aim is all about how you can move your crosshair on your screen, and that is all translated from the movement of your body to the placement of your hand on your mouse pad. So that is all because finding your sensitivity is all because of these factors. And if I missed anything, please do tell me. I am also curious about that. But for the most part, this is what I feel you guys can definitely, get out of this video. So we're just gonna try to move into a game here. And I gotta get another timeout. Riot, please. I don't want to keep uninstalling my game. I'm sad. All right, we're just gonna go to aim lab then, if we can't do that. So here's the thing: when you have that all set in tow, right, you're gonna have the opportunity now to start aiming, start practicing your aim. And the way to find your aim, again, it's going to take a bit of time, but when you have all of this, when you have your constants, you won't be as confused as why to your aim is always like that. So we're just going to go and find our aim here. So what I do is, actually, let's go to settings first. So what I do is I just set myself to a certain DPI and a certain sensitivity and just try it straight up. So what you want to do is, if you don't really have anything that you've used before in terms of sensitivity and DPI, you go to the highest that you can go for, and you go lower and lower to what feels comfortable for you. So my DPI is 1000 DPI and my sensitivity is 0.2. And that is what I find the most comfortable. And I'm playing at a resolution of 1440p. Before it was 764, but swapping sensitivity or swapping resolution doesn't super affect my my DPI or my sensitivity. I just had to get used to it, but it's still fine. So once that happens, you kind of want to start practicing already. And what I found to be the best way to practice is go for these aim practice softwares such as AimLab and just go at it. After that, go into a couple of games and try it out. At first, you might not feel comfortable with it, but the more that you play, the more that your muscle as well as your mind gets accustomed to it, you will be able to do at least the better stuff. Hang on, this isn't my DPI, my sensitivity. So I'm just gonna do it a little bit, guys. I'm not sure if I'm gonna do best here, but you can see how much comfortable I am with my movements here. You know, you can see that. This isn't perfect. I'm nervous. We can't get something like that. So I hope this video helped you guys. I'll be seeing you on the next one. And if you got any more questions, please do just comment on the section below and I will answer you as much as I can. So that's it for this first video. Hope you guys enjoyed and I'll see you on that next one. So ciao and bye.